Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. In the next couple of videos I'm going to be looking at this Weihrauch HW90. It's come to me because it's not holding pressure. I have found the problem. The problem is the piston, so I have a replacement piston over here. We need to get the gun apart, we need to take the old piston out, clean everything, check everything, get the new piston in, rebuild it, repressurize it and test it. So let's do that. Now, it's been a long time since I've taken one of these apart, so there's a chance I'm going to get to certain points and it's all just going to go quiet and I'm going to stare at it looking kind of confused for a little bit, not really knowing what I'm doing, as I try and rack through my memory as to what I should be doing next. Now, inside of here we've got slotted screws at the front. We have our usual star washers there, and as I said on the commenter video that I did last week, I don't know when you'll be seeing this video, but I made it last week, there really should be a small metal washer underneath that to stop the star washer from digging into the wood. So I will endeavour to remember to find a couple of those before I do the rebuild part, because that is quite important, I think, for the longevity of the gun, to stop these little star washers from digging too far into the wood. Because what can happen is if they go in too far, the bolts themselves there go in further and they can obstruct the cocking arm of the barrel there. So you get to a point where they foul onto that, and then that can create issues. And it's an unusual thing, so you don't necessarily look for it. So it can throw you if that happens. Right, we've got a little locking grub screw on the main front trigger guard screw. So I've undone that so I can get in. I've undone that. Can do. I don't know why. Does this vibrate that much? I didn't need it. I suppose it must do, otherwise they wouldn't have put in there. It's kind of an anti-vibration fixing screw. Come out, you little bugger. Let me try tipping it. You're not coming out, are you? Nein, I will not. There we are. That's the little groover, just a tiny little grub screw that goes against the crenellated trigger guard bolt or screw that's in the front of there to stop it rotating under vibration. Now, the 90s kind of note it can have a heavy kick. I think there's an inertia weight in some of them, and that can jam, and if that jams it's just creating extra recoil. So maybe that's the issue. So that's the forward one. Now we've got the one at the back. And that, I've done both of the front screws, both of the rear screws. Trigger guard should lift away, and it does. Stock should lift away, and it does. There we are. Now, in the should I buy a Weihrauch HW90 video that I did, or any gas ram, I said this was a perfect trigger. I was wrong. You were right. So many of you spotted it. It's the elite trigger, okay? I made a mistake, and because I've made that one in my head and I wasn't really concentrating, I just carried on saying it throughout. The perfect trigger is the one that's on the HW30 Mark II and the HW50 Mark II. The S of either of those, both of those has the record trigger. The Mark II has the perfect trigger, and this has the elite trigger. I'm sorry for making that mistake. I know so many of you noticed it, and thank you for pointing it out. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, well, I knew that. You kind of get into a thing where you say something, and because you've said it, you just carry on saying it. You're not really concentrating. This is the thing. I mean, there's been several where I make mistakes. It happens. What you've got to remember is I don't write a script. So while I'm doing things, I'm just kind of chatting because dead air's boring. And I'm really concentrating on what I'm doing here, not on what's coming out of my mouth. So I do make mistakes, and I do apologise for that. But it's just the way I am. I can't shut up. Right, what I've done here, I've taken that out of there. There's little bolt that went into there, and I've taken him out. Okay, and now I've got one there, which looks for all the world as if it's an Allen bolt. And it is. Hurrah! Now this is the one. This is the one is not going to undo. Let me get my glasses and my little tool set. Now this is a good tool set. I actually bought this online somewhere. It's about 15 quid. It's hundreds of little bits in there. I think it was listed as a mobile phone repair kit. But amongst my other toys, I have slot cars, you know, scale electrics, things like that. And I race them. Well, I race them. I trundle them around the track while other people much better than me race them. But I enjoy it. We go, the club that I belong to, we race all around France, Portugal, Spain, Italy. Just playing with little cars. Not playing. They get upset when I say I'm playing with it. I'm not. But that's what I got that for. That kit there. It was about 15 quid, and it's perfect just for repairing the little slot cars. So anyway, I'm waffling again, aren't I? It's just all the time. Taking this one here out, and I've got him out, and what we have underneath there, no, it's the other way around. The top one of those is actually the Schrader valve, okay? A Schrader valve is what you have in your car or bicycle or motorcycle tyre, or wheelbarrow. I'm not going to discriminate, or wheelbarrow. A pneumatic tyre has a Schrader valve. It's spring loaded with a little seal on it. When you get pressure on one side that's greater than the other side, it pushes it down, squirts air in, and then when you take it off, it goes shh, and shuts the little valve. A Schrader valve. That's what we have in here. It's the common part to fail in these guns. So what we need to do now, I know there's no pressure in this because I can see a bloody great hole in it there, but you need to check there's no pressure in this. So you get a probe of some sort and you push it. Now when you push down on a Schrader valve in your tyre, it's spring loaded. You can clearly feel the pressure there. And I've pushed that all the way in. There's absolutely no pressure in this ram. So that is good. You need to do that as well. We'll go on to checking and changing pressures when we do the rebuild, because that is to do with that as well. Now I'm knocking through the pin. I'm knocking through the pin that holds the back section in, and now I can see what the little Allen bolt was for there. It's actually to go into there. There's a little groove in that pin. This holds it in place so that it can't be knocked out while this is in place, so you don't accidentally knock a pin out while it's pressurized, because that would be a bad thing. Now I have got that off, I need to remove that back plug. Favourite screwdriver. Yes, it's moved. That is how I do that. Okay. Something even smaller than my favourite screwdriver. Let's see. If I seem a bit fuzzy today, you might be right. Oh, yesterday was my birthday and I might have had a glass of wine last night. So I might be a little bit muzzy. I don't encourage drinking wine. It's bad for you. More than a glass. And I dread to think what would happen. So we've released this part here and it is coming out. And that is part of our ram. Now that is covered in grease. I'm just going to pop my... So that was my microphone I've just moved there. So that was probably a bang at your end. Covered in grease, where an attempt has been made to repair the leak. Obviously without realising what had caused the leak. So I'm just going to clean all of that off of there. Thusly, there is part of our ram. Now then, what do we have? We have this trigger unit, and I want to remove it in its entirety. But I think I'm going to remove the barrel first. I'm going to remove the barrel first. So, as with all of the break barrel rifles that you'll see me take apart, I always remove the spring, or in this case any pressure, beforehand, so I can undo the barrel while it's in that position. Because if it's in that position, I'm not fighting against the chisel detent spring. So it makes it a lot simpler. And because it's a Weihrauch, it looks like it's a screw at each end, a bolt at each end, but one of them is actually a nut. By looking carefully, you can identify which is your nut and start by loosening him. There. Okay, loosening. Where is my... I am ogling the horizon for a magnet. Oh, I've got some really strong magnets. School friend of my wife, she went to the UK to visit the UK office just before Christmas. He's a research scientist of some sort, research and development. And they take apart systems sometimes. And there was this system they took apart that was full of these really powerful little magnets, you know, the rare earth magnets. And they were going to throw them away. And he said, oh no, I'll have them. And he sent some back for me. They're bloody awesome. The trouble is, you can stick things to the fridge with them, and that's great. And I've got a big block of them like that on the fridge. I can't get it off the fridge now because they're too strong. That's a permanent feature. In years to come, archaeologists will see that and think, oh, Wally put them there. It was me. Right, so the nut is off. I've taken the locking washer out. I'm now removing the bolt, the axis bolt. There. Okay, and the little washer that goes with that. And then we get our... there we go. Either side with a Weihrauch, we get our little shims or washers that go either side of the breech block. So we put those there. The barrel is off. Put him there. So now we've got this part, and it's much shorter, much more manageable, much easier to work with. And I want to remove this trigger unit. No, I'm actually going to take out the cocking shoe first. So there's your cocking shoe. Favourite screwdriver, that's what I need for this job. There we go. Now, this is an old style cocking shoe, the pressed steel one. I believe the new style cast HW90 shoes will fit this gun, I believe. Can't say it 100%. If they do, I'm sure somebody can comment down below to confirm or deny this. If they do, I would suggest getting one because they are better. Now, it would appear, looking at this Elite trigger unit here, it's held in with one pin. I'm hoping this is the case. I'm also hoping that when I remove him, it's all going to stay in one piece, not go ka-twang across the room. So we'll see. Cover me, I'm going in. Okay, there is our pin that I believe is holding it. Is movement, we have movement. Oh, look at that. There is our trigger unit. All in one piece, all contained. That part comes up more than on a record unit, but do you know what? I'm happy with that. It's got an awful lot of grease in it. I'll probably get to degreasing that and just put some light machine oil or something on it in its place. Now, let us get out the piston. This is grubby as well. Muck, mucky, muck. Dirty. There we go. Get some more tissue. See if I can wipe the thick of that dirt off. There. And that is it. This is what we have inside of here. It's a very big, very heavy piston. And I haven't even taken the other piston out of its packaging yet. I'm going to have a look to see if it's the same. What we need to do here, I need to get my degreaser. I use brake cleaner, okay? Brake cleaner inside of there. Then I get my rod, which I've had for many years, with a really badly cut thing in the end of there. A piece of tissue, which will go across my rod there. Introduce that into the compression chamber. If it wants to go in, it might not want to. It might be shy like this one. And then down, twisty, twisty, all the way to the bottom. Twisty, twisty, and out again. Okay. Now, the tissues come off of the rod inside. Doesn't matter, because I can see it there. So we just push that back to the back and remove it. And I'm going to carry on doing that until this is clean. So, there we go. The gun is in pieces. We've got an O-ring there, a couple of O-rings down inside of it, and that's what provides us with our ram, our gas ram. That is the ram, it is the piston, all in one. I'm going to continue with this in part 2, and part 2 should be all we need to complete this job, because it is a simple gun. Like, subscribe, hit notifications, join me for part 2, where we'll replace this piston, we will lubricate and rebuild the gun, then we will pressurize the gun and test it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.